Now let's look at one other type of continuous random variable. It is called as normal random variable, and in this topic you have to by heart it, in the sense you have to see what is the density function, probability density function. You have to by heart it, there is no other way. Probably this is the only topic in which you might have to by heart some things, and there is no shortcut to remember it, okay? And the formula is not very small, it is somewhat big. See this? So we say that a continuous random variable capital X is a normal random variable, or capital X is normally distributed with parameters mu and sigma square if the density of X is given by, which means this is the probability density function. If you see that f of x is given by this function, then we can say that that particular variable is normal random variable. So there are no questions that are being asked on this till now, but in case if they ask, they might ask you the question about what is the distribution function, right? The density function. See this, 1 by square root of 2 pi into sigma multiplied with e power minus x minus mu square divided by 2 sigma square. This is somewhat difficult to remember, but you have to do it anyway, okay? And don't take any risk. They didn't ask anything like that, they might ask you. And whenever we are talking about these random variables, we have always been speaking about some parameters like np or lambda, right? And in this case we are talking about mu and sigma. So why all these parameters are important is, later when I talk about expectation is a special topic, and when I talk about expectation, I will explain you why this topic and these various parameters are important. But remember here, the parameters that are important here are mu and sigma square. And if you want to see this function visually as a graph, you will see that it is actually a kind of bell. It looks like a bell, okay? So people call it a bell function also. And if you see this bell is symmetric over this parameter mu, right? So if you think that this is parameter mu, this bell is actually symmetric, so on both the sides it will be same, right? So what is this mu and what is the significance of it, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you when we talk about expectations, okay? So just remember this formula and remember that it is distributed like this, and it is having a parameter mu, and it is symmetric across the mu, okay? We see more about it later, okay? So as with any probability mass function or probability density function, if you add up all the values, all the probabilities, you are supposed to get 1, which means in this case integral minus infinity to infinity f of x dx. In this f of x you substitute this entire formula, right? If you substitute this, you are supposed to get 1. And also if you want to find out the probability that x takes a value in the range, this is a continuous random variable. Therefore if it is given that it is a normal random variable, and if they are asking about probability at a point, it will never exist. Probability at a point will be 0, but probability in a range it will exist. Let us say this is a point A and this is a point B. Now if they want to find out, or if they are asking what is the probability that this particular normal random variable is going to take a value, or will take a value between A and B, that one you can say, right? So how can you say it? It is nothing but the area under the curve. So if you want to derive it, it is nothing but integral a to b f of x dx, right? If the question is like this, so they don't ask such questions because integrating this function is not very simple. That is why they don't ask such questions. But in case if they ask, they might ask you the formulas. That is why I'm just giving the formulas, okay? Probability that capital X will take a value which is less than or equal to A is nothing but, so if they are talking about less than or equal to A, we have to go from minus infinity to A and integrate it, just like how we did for all the other functions, right? And similarly they might ask what is the probability that x is greater than or equal to A, then you have to start from A and go till infinity f of x dx, right? So actually this function is defined for minus infinity to plus infinity. That is why I am not dividing it into range. It is not like it is defined only for positive numbers. Got it? So all these things if you can remember, you can answer any question on this. right? So later I'll talk about more properties about this. Okay.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So, first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%, but all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkey's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkey, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkey is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkey. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities, but whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is, we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.